Welcome students to lecture 10 of motion in a straight line. We are discussing about motion under gravity. So far we completed under this free fall in the same way when object is projected vertically upwards from the ground. So now in this session we are going to discuss about some more application. In the same way we are going to study about the when the object is projected vertically up from a tower, right? So body projected vertically up from a tower or building, right? So let us take a tower of height h. The height of the tower is h. From the top of the tower we are projecting a body vertically up by giving some initial velocity. So in this case we are going to study about the what is the final velocity of the body on reaching the ground and what will be the time taken to reach the ground. That points we are going to study regarding with this object. Before going to study in detail, let us study about the sign conventions for this kind of motion. So sign convention is nothing but we are allotting certain directions for the physical quantities. So see, I am imagining a coordinate system which is attached to the frame. So this is the origin. That means this is our initial point. Where we are projecting the body, that point can be considered as a reference point. So with respect to the reference point, the physical quantities which are measured in upward direction, they can be taken as positive. In the same way, the height of the tower we are measuring from the reference point to the ground, not from the ground to the reference point. So now the height will be measured in downward direction. So the downward direction physical quantities are taken as negative. The upward direction physical quantities can be taken as positive. So these are the sign conventions for this kind of motion. Now let us assign the signs for this. The object thrown vertically upwards. So velocity is in a vertically upward direction. Therefore u can be taken as positive. In the same way height. So height is measured from the reference point to the bottom of the tower. That's why height will be negative. In the same way, sir, what about acceleration due to gravity? So as the object is moving upwards, the acceleration due to gravity is acting downwards. So acceleration due to gravity can be taken as minus g. So remaining quantities we are going to get after simplifying the expressions. Right. So this is also similar. This case is also similar to when the object is dropped from a rising balloon. For suppose you hear a balloon, so which is rising vertically upwards with a velocity u. So from this rising balloon, if an object is dropped, the height of the balloon above the surface of the height can be taken as h. So for this object also can be considered as the same kind of motion as object projected from the top of a tower. Now it is also similar to the when an object is dropped from a helipad or helicopter which is rising with a constant velocity vertically upwards. So these all three cases are similar cases. In all the cases we need to apply the same sign conventions. The approach of these cases will be similar. Okay na? So body dropped from a rising balloon, right, And next in the same way, body dropped from a helicopter. So in these three cases, we need to apply the same sign conventions. Right. Now let us study the different formulas related to this. Right. So we are taking the height of the tower as h, the velocity of projection is u. Now after reaching to the highest point of its journey, again it reaches to the ground. So in this case, when we need to find what is the final velocity of the object on touching the ground, in the same way what will be the time taken on reaching the ground. So what are the sign conventions? So height is negative, u is positive, a is negative because acceleration due to gravity acting downward direction. So for this motion I am applying the second equation of motion. So second equation of motion. So second equation of motion, we know that s is equals to ut plus half at square. Now apply. So s value minus h ut because positive sign, and acceleration due to gravity minus half gt square. So we can write this also, h is equals to minus ut plus half gt square. Right, we can get it as a quadratic equation by taking LCM 2 from the right hand side. So 2h minus 2ut plus gt square. So we can write it as gt square minus 2ut minus 2h is equals to 0. So this is the quadratic expression. Now I am going to find out the time. Okay, so by solving with minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. So this expression I am going to use to find out the time taken on reaching the ground. So t is equals to under root of, so b square, so b value is minus 2u, so minus 2u whole square minus 4ac, so this is a and this is b and here it is c. So 4ac, so a value is g and c value is minus 2h by, so minus b plus or minus, no, sorry, so here we need to write minus b, so minus of minus 2u plus or minus by 2 into g. Therefore 2u plus or minus under root of 4u square minus into minus plus 8gh by 2g. So we can get common 2 from this expression. U plus or minus under root of, here 4 will comes outside as 2 out of the root, so 2 we are getting common outside, so here this will be u square. Next in the same way this will be plus 2gh because 4 comes outside and by 2 into g, so 2 get cancelled. Therefore what is the expression we are going to get? T is equals to u plus or minus under root of u square plus 2gh by g. So this is the time. So generally we can take the time in positive sign, so that's why generally we can write this expression as with the positive sign only. With the positive sign we are going to get t is equals to u plus under root of u square plus 2gh by g. This expression we sometimes we can also rewrite this as by taking common u outside, so u by g 1 plus under root of 1 plus 2gh by u square. So this is the expression for time taken on reaching the ground when it is projected vertically up from a top of a tower. Okay, na? So this question directly asked 1 or 2 times in competitive examinations. Right, now let us see. So what will be the final velocity on reaching the ground? So final velocity on reaching the ground. To find the final velocity on reaching the ground, I am using the formula v square minus u square is equals to 2g h. So v square we need to find, v square is equals to u square plus 2gh. Therefore v is equals to under root of u square plus 2gh. This is the final velocity of the body on reaching the ground. And then we can also write final velocity after t seconds. So final velocity after t seconds. So we can write v equals to u minus gt. This is the final velocity. Right. Next, sometimes they are going to ask what is the height of the tower. So to find the height of the tower, so see, h and object is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity u, and let us see, this will be the time for the journey. So here 2 times will be there. One is on reaching to the maximum height, that is time of ascent, and it will be reaches to the ground. See here, the height from the this point from the top of the tower to maximum height, we can write h is equals to u square by 2g, we can write. And then this will be also similar. For suppose this is OA and it is the same level of the point BC. So we can write h is equals to u square by, that means OA equals to AB equals to u square by 2g. In the same way, the whatever the time for the journey from O to A is equals to T1, T1 is equals to U by G, we can write. And then what about the time for the A to C journey? From A to C journey, the object is under free fall. When the object is under free fall, so this is the height capital H and this is small h, we can write. So therefore T is equals to under root of 2h by g, we can write, because for a freely falling body we can write 2 times of capital H plus h by g, we are going to write. Therefore what is the total time taken? Total time taken to reach the ground t1 plus t2. Therefore t is equals to u by g plus 2 times of capital H plus h by g. So with help of this expression, if we know the time taken, we can find out the height of the tower. And one more important point, when the object reaches the same level of projection, that means what is the same level of projection? The B is the point where the object has the same level of projection at point O and point B. The object possesses the same velocity. Okay, na? This is the point you need to remember. When the object reaches to the same level of projection, it acquires the same velocity as of projection. Okay, this is the case when the object is projected vertically upwards. So sign conventions are very, very important for this kind of motion. Right, now let us discuss one more application here. Right, let us take 3 objects. So A is projected vertically upwards with an initial velocity u from the top of tower of height h. It reaches the ground after t1 seconds. After t1 seconds reaches the ground. Next, another object is B is projected downwards with the same initial velocity as first one. It reaches the ground after t2 seconds. Then the third object is freely falling from the same height u equals to 0. Now we are going to find the what will be the time taken by the freely falling body in terms of t1 and t2. We are also going to find what will be the time difference between on reaching the ground between object 1 and object 2. So let us take this is A, B and C. So three objects we have. So one is vertically, A is projected vertically upwards, and B is in is in projected downwards with velocity u, and third one is under free fall. So three bodies we have. Now we are going to find out the relation between them. So for first body I am going to apply the second equation of motion. So how can we apply? So h we can take it as negative minus h at ut 1 minus half gt1 square. So we can rewrite this as h is equals to ut1 minus ut1 plus half gt1 square. The sign conventions already explained in the last class. You try to understand that, you can apply for this. Next, this is for object A, for body A. Next, for body 2. So apply it. So for body 2, this is minus h ut2, because the initial velocity is same as the first one. So minus half gt2 square. At h is equals to, we can write minus ut2 plus half gt2 square, equation number 2. Next, for body 3, we can write h is equals to half gt3 square, because it is under free fall only. Okay, now these are the three expressions we got. So now to simplify this, I am going to multiply the expression 1 with t2 and 2 with t1. Okay, na? And then I am adding the two expressions. Okay, na? So multiply so 1 into t2 plus 2 into t1 we are doing here. So 1 into t2. So ht2 minus u t1 t2 plus half g t1 square t2. Next, second expression ht1 minus u t1 t2 plus half g t2 square t1. Let us add these two. So we are going to get h of t1 plus t2. This will get cancelled, and then 1 by 2 g t1 t2 we can get common. Therefore t1 plus t2 we are going to get, after getting common t1 t2 in this term. So what we can cancel? T1 plus t2 get cancelled. Therefore h is equals to half g t1 t2. Let it be equation number 4. But we have already from 3 h is equal to half g t3 square. Okay, so this is from 3. Now we equate these two, we are going to get half g t3 square half g t1 t2, or in the same way we can compare this with equation number 4 and 3. In the place of t3 square we have t1 and t2, therefore t3 square is equals to t1 t2. Therefore time taken by the freely falling body to reach the ground in terms of t1 and t2 is under root of t1 t2. It is a very important application. So in this application they are going to give the whatever the time taken by a body which is projected vertically upwards from the tower. In the same way another body is also projected vertically downwards from the top of a tower, and the time for the second body is t2, time for the first body is t1. Now they are going to ask, if the object is really falling from the same height, then what will be the time taken to reach the ground in terms of t1 and t2. We are going to get as under root of t1, because they won't mention the whatever the height of the tower. If the height of the tower is mentioned in the question, directly we can use h is equals to half gt square formula. But here there is no mentioning of the height of the tower. Without giving the height of the tower, they are asking what is the time taken to reach the ground. Okay, now let us find out the time difference between object A and B on reaching the ground. So which will take much time on reaching the ground? The object A will take much time to reach the ground. This is T1, and object 2 will take the time T2. Now we are going to find out what is the difference between T1 and T2. We are going to find. Right, what is the first expression we have? H is equals to minus ut1 plus half gt1 square is equation number 1, and h is equals to minus u2 plus half gt2 square, it is number 2. Okay, let us equate these two. Minus u t1 plus half gt1 square is equals to minus u t2 plus half gt2 square. Right, let us bring this minus u t1 plus u t2, next half g t2 square minus half g t1 square. On shifting the terms, now I am going to get u times of t2 minus t1 of g times of t2 square minus t1 square. Let us take the minus common on the left side. I am going to write minus of t1 minus t2 1 by 2 g times of, we can write it as t2 square minus t1 square. So if I am shifting the term minus from the side, we are going to get u into t1 minus t2 is equals to half g into t1 square minus t2 square. Because minus I am shifting that side, the term will become t, instead of t2 square minus t1 square, after shifting this minus onto the right side, it is going to get as t1 square minus t2 square. So u times of t1 minus t2 1 by 2 g. So it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So t1 plus t2 into t1 minus t2. So we can cancel t1 minus t2 and t1 minus t2 get cancelled. Therefore u is equals to 1 by 2 g times of t1 plus our aim is to find time difference only, no? Wait here. So minus u into sorry, after getting minus common here, it will be plus only, t1 plus t2, sorry, t1 plus t2 will cancel, t1 plus t2 will cancel out, this will remain as it is, therefore t1 minus t2 will be left. Okay, so our aim is to find this t1 minus t2 only, time difference. So how can we write time difference? The time difference we can write t1 minus t2 is equals to 2u by g. Okay na? So I am writing here to t1 minus t2 is equals to 2u by g. So this is the time difference. So again they are going to ask what is, for suppose the time taken are given, t1 and t2 are given, they are going to ask what will be the velocity of projection. So how can we write velocity of projection? So a velocity of projection, so you can write this as u is equals to g by 2 times of t1 minus t2. So this is the velocity of projection. Okay na? Right. So these are the some different cases in for a body which is three bodies. One is projected vertically upwards from the top of a tower, another one is projected downwards with the initial velocity u, and the third one is under free fall. So the time taken will be given, they are going to ask the different cases like this. So till now we discussed about the bodies by neglecting the air resistance. Okay, now let us study if we are considering the air resistance on an object, so what will be the time taken and which time will be maximum. Okay na? Right, motion of objects under gravity in presence of air resistance. Right, so when the object is thrown vertically upwards, the time taken by body to reach the maximum height will be time of ascent, and in the same way after reaching to the particular point the object will reaches to the ground, the time taken is known to be time of descent. So this is when we are neglecting the air friction, the time of ascent is equal to time of ascent, already we studied. But for suppose if the object is under moving in the presence of the air friction, so what will happen? Now let us guess. So what we are going to analyze, the time of ascent will be more than the time of descent. Let us check it whether which one will be maximum and which one will be minimum. Right. So object is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity u. I am taking the time taken as t1. T as I am taking t1. So now the air friction is acting. Let us consider the acceleration due to gravity on the object will be downwards, that is g. In the same way as the object is moving vertically upward direction, air friction is also acting downwards only. Okay, now because air friction is always opposite to the direction of motion, so due to the air friction the acceleration produced in the body will be a. Therefore, what is the net acceleration for upward motion? For upward motion, acceleration becomes g plus a because both are acting in the same direction. Acceleration due to gravity downwards, in the same way acceleration produced in the body due to air friction also downwards. Therefore, net acceleration will be g plus a. Now time taken we can write, time taken to reach the maximum height we are going to write u by g plus a, because time taken, time of ascent we can write as u by g. So here I am writing u by g plus a. Then what is the height? So height is equals to u square by 2g. That means 2 into acceleration. 2 into acceleration nothing but what? Acceleration here g plus a. Now let us apply for downward motion. For downward motion what will happen? Acceleration due to gravity acting downwards itself. But what is the direction of the air friction? The air friction is now in this case acting upwards, because air friction force is always acting on the bodies opposite to its direction of motion. That is a property of a friction. So here A will be upwards. So A and G will be opposite direction. Therefore in this case acceleration of the body becomes G minus A. Right, T2 we can write time of descent T2 is equals to U by G minus A we can write. So instead of writing the T2, let us write the T2 in terms of height. H is equals to half G into G value is what? G minus A into T2 square we can write. So height value we got already, U square by 2 times of G plus A we can write G minus A T2 square. Therefore T2 square we can write as U square by 2 times of G plus A into G minus A. Therefore T2 we are going to get U by under root of 2 times of G plus A into G minus A. So now let us compare the equation number 1 and 2. So equation number 1 and 3. So T1 U by G plus A and T2 U by under root of 2 times of G plus A into G minus A. So we can easily analyze that. So which is greater? So time of ascent. So time of ascent is less than the time of descent. That means T1 is less than T2. So generally we thought that if the objects are moving under the air friction, we can analyze that due to air friction the time of ascent will be maximum than time of descent. But actually what happens here? The time of ascent is less than the time of descent. So this is the conclusion we are going to get when the object is moving under the air friction. And when the object is moving under the air friction, we need to consider acceleration produced by the air friction in the body. Where it is moving upwards, acceleration due to gravity and acceleration produced by the friction both are in the same direction. That's why T equals to U by G plus A. When the object is moving downwards, therefore the acceleration produced in the body will be G minus A. So we are going to get the conclusion as time of ascent. Generally most of us we thought that when the object is moving under the air friction, the time of ascent will be more than the time of descent. But practically what is happening here? Time of ascent is less than time of descent. So it is a very important theory. With time of ascent is less than time of descent. Right. Now let us take one more application here. An elevator or a lift. An elevator is accelerating upwards with A, and a man who is in elevator is throwing a ball vertically upwards. So when he throws a ball vertically upwards, so we need to find what will be the time of ascent. So time of ascent with respect to lift or elevator. So with respect to lift or elevator, the object is moving upwards. When the object is moving upwards, the lift is accelerating upwards only. When the lift is accelerating, so here lift accelerating, so lift accelerating upwards. So therefore Ta equals to U by G plus A, we can, this is the time of ascent with respect to the lift of the object. In the same way, time of flight, we can write time of flight is equals to 2U by G plus A. This is the time of flight of the object. Now for suppose if the lift is decelerating, if the lift is decelerating, A is negative. So if A is negative, therefore time of flight we can take it as 2U by G minus A. Okay, na? So when the lift is accelerating upwards, so time of ascent will be U by G plus A. Time of flight is 2U by G minus A. And when the lift is decelerating upwards, Ta equals to U by G minus A, and time of flight is equals to 2U by G minus A. This is with respect to lift only. Okay. Now let us discuss one more application related to the freely falling body. Let us consider a freely falling body. The scenario is given like this. If the freely falling body covers half of its total distance, in last second of its journey, they are going to ask what is the total time of fall. They are asking how long the body will remain in air. They are asking. It is a standard application. The result will be same if the scenario will be like this. So a freely falling body, so an object is under free fall. If it is free fall, its initial velocity is 0. Then what is given in its last second? So what is last second? N minus 1. So in its last second, it covers the half of the total distance. For suppose in during the time interval of n minus 1 second, the total height, for suppose I am taking the total length, vertical length covered by it will be h. And in last second, how much distance it is covering? H by 2 it is covering. Now they are asking what will be the time for its journey. So till here h by 2. So in last second h by 2. So I am writing, so distance travelled in the last second is n minus 1, and I am taking the total time of the fall is n. Therefore distance travelled in n seconds. In total seconds I am writing h is equals to half gt square. We can write in the place of t I am writing n square, because the total time of the fall I am taking as n. In last second, h is equals to, we can write u plus g into n minus 1 by 2, because the object is under free fall. 0 plus g by 2, we can write 2n minus 1. So this is in last second, n minus 1 second, and this is in n second. But what is the condition given? N second, the distance travelled in n seconds is equals to distance travelled in n minus 1 is equals to h by 2. Then what will be the time of fall they are asking? So h we have, so h is h itself. So let us divide equation number 2 by 1. See, so h n minus 1 by h is equals to g by 2 times of 2n minus 1 is equals to half gn square. So this height is given. So what is this height? Half of the total height. This we can write h by 2 by h is equals to, we can cancel half g, get cancel amount. Therefore 2n minus 1 by n square we are going to get. So again h get cancel here. Therefore 1 by 2 is equals to 2n minus 1 by n square we can write. So let us cross multiply this. N square is equals to 4n minus 2. We can write as n square minus 4n minus plus 2 equals to 0. It is a quadratic equation. Let us simplify that expression with the help of minus b plus or minus. So minus of minus 4 plus or minus b square minus 4 square minus 4ac. So 4a value is 1. So c value is 2. So 4ac by 2 into 1 we can write. We need to find out the total time of flight, that is total fall n I am going to find. So 4 plus or minus, so this value will be 16 minus 8 by 2. So 4 plus or minus under root of 8 by 2. So this we can write 4 plus or minus 4 under root by 2 we can write. So 2 times of a we are writing. So 2 we can take common outside. So this is 4 into 2, no? So 4 into 2 means 2 will comes outside. Sorry, 2 come out, and 2 plus root 2 by 2 we can write. Okay, here root 2 by 2 will be there. 2 get cancelled. Therefore 2 plus root 2 seconds is the time for the journey. So n. So this is a total fall. So standard beta. So this will be asked like this only. So if the object is covers half of its total height in last second, then what will be the total time of fall? So total time of fall will be always 2 plus root 2 under this condition. Okay, so these are the applications and scenarios related to the object is under free fall. Before going to do this problem, let us discuss one important point related to the motion of an object. So we know that if we throw an object vertically upward direction, so after some time the object reaches to the ground. So generally we are neglecting the air friction acting on the body until they mention in the question. So if they didn't mention the air friction, for suppose I am taking the time of ascent is 5 seconds and time of descent automatically it will be is also 5 seconds. Now let us see. So after 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 5, this is 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is last 10th second, and this is 0 second. See, motion of an object under gravity is symmetry. Very important point, theory concept. So motion of object under gravity is symmetry. Sir, what is the meaning of this? That means the distance travelled by the body in 1 second is equals to distance travelled by the body in 10th second. What is the meaning of this? For suppose this is the distance travelled in 1 second. For suppose 2 meter it travels. In the same way, in last second of its journey also, it covers the same distance. That means at a particular height or in a particular time interval, it covers the equal distance. Simply we can say that the distance travelled in last second of an object in vertically upward motion is equals to distance travelled by the body when it is under free fall. So first second of the free fall, that two will be same. That means we can write it as, so distance travelled in 1 second, that means in first second, is equals to distance travelled in 10th second. So these two distances will be same. Okay, so 0 to 1 nothing but 1 second, 9 to 10 nothing but 10th second. In the same way, distance travelled in second is equals to distance travelled in 9th second. So these two will be same. So this is second and this is 9th second, right? Next, distance travelled in third second, that means from 2 to 3 is equals to distance travelled in distance travelled in 8th second. Next, distance travelled in fourth second is equals to distance travelled in 7th second. Next, in the same way, distance travelled in fifth second is equals to distance travelled in sixth second. So this is the meaning of this motion under gravity is symmetry. So that means the distance travelled by the vertically projected upwards body in last second of its time of ascent is equals to distance travelled by the body under free fall in its first second. The two distances will be same. Okay, na? So this is a very important application we can use in most of the cases. This kind of application we are going to come across. Now let us do the problem. So a body falls from rest in the gravitational field of earth. The distance travelled in the fifth second of its motion is, so here you need to use the formula. So h nth, so h nth is equals to u plus g into n minus 1 by 2. So freely falling means the velocity will be 0. Therefore they are asking h5. So g value they are given as 10. So in fifth second they are asking 5 minus 1 by 2. So 10 into 9 by 2. So 5. So 45 meters is the distance travelled in fifth second. Right, let us see the next one. So if a ball is thrown vertically upwards with a speed u, a ball is thrown vertically upwards with a speed u, right? The distance covered during the last second of its ascent is. So last second of ascent, that means last t seconds, last t seconds they are asking. I don't know what is the time. So just now we discussed motion under gravity symmetry. So last t seconds of time of ascent is equals to first t seconds of time of descent. Okay na? So distance travelled in last t seconds of ascent is equals to first t seconds of free fall or descent. Therefore, first t seconds of free fall nothing but h is equals to half g t square we can write, because the time will be t seconds, free fall initial velocity 0, therefore height is equals to half gt square. So the answer will be half gt square is the answer. Right, let us see the next one. Right, a man throws balls with the same speed vertically upwards one after the other at a time interval of 2 seconds. What should be the speed of the throw so that more than two balls are in the sky at any time. So the man is throwing the balls. Is throwing the balls vertically upwards. So what is the time interval between one ball to another ball? So time interval between time difference of throw is 2 seconds. So after each 2 seconds he is throwing the ball, but what is his aim? He has to maintain the more than two balls are in the sky at any instant of time. So for suppose, let us find out its time of flight. So what will be the time of flight? Time of flight is equals to 2u by g. Okay na? So 2u by g. If he throws the ball, let us find out this. So g into t by 2 is equals to u, we can write. So then what about the time taken? So see here, I am going to apply the condition. For suppose after 2 seconds the ball at its highest point. If the ball is at highest point after 2 seconds, time of ascent is 2 seconds and time of descent is 2 seconds. Therefore, total time of flight will be 4 seconds. If it is 4 seconds, then only how many balls will be in air? If it is in 4 seconds, one ball will be in only when the one ball will be in the highest position and another ball will be reaches to the ground. That means only two balls will be in air if time of flight will be 4 seconds. Try to understand. So first ball is thrown into air, reaches the ground reaches the highest point in 2 seconds, and after the 2 seconds over, the first ball is here, and now he starts throwing the second ball. So then after 2 seconds, again the first ball reaches the ground. Then he throws the third ball. So when the first ball reaches the ground, then how many balls will be in the air? Only two balls. Now this is the position of second ball and this is the position of third ball. Now how many balls will be in the air? Only two balls will be in the air if the time of flight will be 4 seconds. That means the time of flight should be compulsory greater than is 2u by g. If this condition is satisfied, then only the person can able to make the more than two balls will be in the sky. Otherwise, he won't achieve the condition. Try to understand the scenario carefully. The first ball is thrown. When he throws the first ball into air, if the time of ascent is 2 seconds and time of descent will also 2 seconds. So then after 2 seconds the first ball reaches to the ground, therefore time of flight will be 4 seconds. If the time of flight is 4 seconds, the first ball will be reaches the ground, then only two balls will be remains in air. His aim is to what? To maintain the more than two balls or minimum three balls in air. So for that time of flight will be compulsory greater than 4g greater than 2u, this is 2, and 2 into 9.8, that is 19.6. So he has to maintain the speed greater than, the speed should be greater than how much? 19.6, more than 19.6. Okay na? So speed should not be less than 19.6 or should not be is equal to 19.6. So to achieve the condition to keep the three balls or four balls in three balls minimum he is asking, and so minimum three balls will be remains in air. So he has to throw the ball vertically upwards with the speed of 19.6 meter per second. Now let us see next one. A man drops a ball downside from the roof of a tower of height 400 meter. So in kinematics we need to draw in a figure. It will give the 50% of idea of doing the problem. So a man drops a ball downside from the roof of height 400 meter, right? So height of the tower is given 400 meter with initial velocity u equals to 0. And next, at the same time another ball is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 50 meter per second from the surface of the tower, then they will meet at a height from the surface of the tower is. Okay, now they are asking what is the height of the meeting of two objects from the surface of the tower. So we discussed this application when the object is thrown vertically upwards at the same instant of an object is thrown when object is under free fall. So the time after where they will meet, I gave a formula already. The time of meeting we can write t is equals to h by u. This is time of meeting. They are asking the height of the point where they will meet from the surface of the tower. So the time for the first object will be t, freely falling t. In the same way upward body will be also t. So if they are asking from the height of from the surface of the tower, we can write gt square. Then height of the tower is capital H. Therefore if they are asking from the ground, so from ground the height will be capital H minus small h. So this is a way of finding the height where the two bodies will meet. If they are asking from the surface of the tower, we can take the condition of a freely falling body, that we are going to get h is equal to half gt square. It is the height of the body from the surface of the tower. If they are asking from the ground where they will meet, from the ground they are asking, we need to find h dash is equal to capital H minus small h. Let us see the same formula. Let us apply the same formula for this. So for time of meeting we are going to write t is equal to h. So h value is 400, 400 by 50. So 8 seconds, after 8 seconds both will meet, right? So height of the point where they meet from surface of tower. From surface of tower nothing but I am taking for freely falling body. So h is equals to h1 is equals to half gt square. So half into g value I am taking 10. So 10 into t value is 8 square. So 5. So h is equals to half gt square. So 16 into 5. So 8 square, no? H is equals to half gt square. This is 64. So 20 to 30. So 320 meter. From here they will meet at a height of 320 meter from the surface of the tower. From the ground 400 minus 320. Therefore above the height of 8 meter from the surface of earth they are going to meet. Okay, so these are the some numericals and applications based on the motion under gravity. Next lectures also we are going to do the some more numerical based on the same concept. Thank you. Stay safe.